Hey guys, what's up? It's Crowd9 here with a discussion video about Maxx, everyone's favorite hand trap. Overall, this is the most divided card in terms of opinions because people either want it banned or unlimited. So I'm going to go ahead and discuss that today for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to let me know if you liked this video, and if you didn't, let me know why as well. I'm always willing to hear. So overall, let's get started on what Maxx does. You can go ahead and discard this card to the graveyard, and then every time your opponent special summons a monster, you can go ahead and draw a card, which is really good because overall, think about our current meta with Emancipators. They special summon a lot, like a lot, and you'll pretty much draw like half your deck out of it. So now you might be thinking, hey, so what do you want to do with this card, right? I would like this card to go from 0 to 3. I would like it to be unlimited. I think it should be free to play for the time being. Now, let me explain why before you get your pitchforks out, because everyone wants Maxx to stay banned. Because we know how the OCG is going with this card. It's always a mandatory 2 or 3 of in their format. So, I think it can come back because for the most part, our format picked up a little bit too much and it's a little bit too fast. And what do I mean by that? Emancipators can freely special summon besides Nibiru, which they can open up a negate prior to the 5th summon, and then they can just negate that Nibiru. There's no real way to stop a combo deck from comboing in the current format. Evenly Match is not as powerful as it used to be. Dark Ruler No More and Forbidden Droplets are good cards, don't get me wrong, but there are ways to always adapt from that, and you're not always guaranteed to draw them in and out to their board, right? You could draw the Dark Ruler No More, but if you can't out their board, you lose. Like the following turn, they'll just make the board up again. And that doesn't just stem to just Emancipators. We have things like Eldritch, you know, like the synchro version, same thing. You make a lot of summons, you get a lot of advantage. Even the Invoke variant of like Dogmatica, Eldritch, they're still going to be special summoning at least like 3 cards, right? Alistair, normal summon. Oh cool, let me drop Maxx. Alright, cool, what do I go from here? Almirage, they draw 1. Secure Gardener, they draw 1. Makaba, they draw 1. At that point, they already gained their advantage back from Maxx, right? They're at a +2 point. And then things like, Dragonlink, same thing. They're spamming their special summons. We're in a format where everything just special summons for free with no cost and no concern. And that is the problem that we're kind of facing with the format. I also feel like this can be reflected on the ban list really easily. By unlimiting Maxx, you force a meta change, you force a meta shift into slower formats, into a slower paced deck. It's not saying Emancipators and Eldritch are going to be completely dead, it just means that people who were playing that now have to play more outs in their main deck, things like Call by the Grave, which weren't, in the format here and there. Honestly, Call by the Grave kind of fell off for the tier 1 decks, only tier 2 decks are playing it because they need to keep up. They can't play through 1 negate every so often like Emancipator can. Emancipator can play through like 4 negates. Eldritch can play through like 4 negates. They don't really care. Things like, the tier 2 decks the tier 2 decks in our format need Call by the Grave to keep their plays going, and that's kind of like where we're seeing the divide here. And you also force a slower game state where other decks now enter the meta. And no, this is not going to be like, oh, Altergeist and Guru are going to be tier 1, we're all doomed. No, that's not the case. Unlimit Maxx, there's going to be an influx into back row decks. Bring back Red Reboot to 2 or 3. Give us Harvey Feather Duster 2-1. Maybe even Heavy Storm. I wouldn't recommend it. Or, Giant Trunade. But those are options, right? Like, bring us back these cards that we haven't seen in a while. We're in an open game state, essentially right now, right? There's no legal tournaments. There's no sanctioned events. This gives Konami opportunity to experiment and see what they can do and what they can get away with the ban list. And I think bringing back Maxx, you literally open up the ban list to, well, if we're bringing this back, we kind of have to bring this back in the process. And if we're doing that, we may as well do that, That gives a lot of variation into the format. And yes, you have to look at what's happening with OCG. Surprisingly, not every deck in the world is playing this card at 3 in OCG. Some people are playing 2. Some people choose to side it. It just depends on how the format is going for them. And for the most part, if they're only getting 1 card out of the Maxx draw, it's not beneficial to play. Because if everyone's playing a slightly slower deck, you're not always going to be seeing that Maxx, which doesn't make Maxx always a good card to draw when they're only going to be special summoning 1 time. And sometimes you might not even be able to respond to that special summon with the discard in case like they did an inherent summon of like Cyber Dragon or something, you know? That's what I'm trying to get at here. Overall, I think that by bringing Maxi back, you avoid a ban list in a way, right? By avoiding a ban list, you keep your player base happier because you bring back one of the most controversial cards that forces a slower format, which a lot of people want back. Because we're in a game state where you summon out your whole board with Emancipators or Eldritch or Dragon Link or whatever you might be playing, and then you pass. And then your opponent's just like, I guess I scoop. That's it. That's the game state. One turn, right? We're not in the same state of like early 2018, I should say, where we had like back and forth games that one game might last 20-25 minutes. Now that 20-25 minutes is just your opponent playing by themselves, waiting for them to finish up their board, right? And I think we need that. And I think even if you hit Block Dragon, you hit, you know, the Eldritch, something in Eldritch, you hit something in Dragon Link, you hit Needle Fiber, Link Cross, whatever, right? You're not fixing anything. There's just going to be another deck that's going to be doing the exact same thing a little bit later. There's no restriction. There is no kind of like counterbalance to combo decks. And again, I don't want them to be like, oh, well, I guess because combo decks are dead now, Altergeist and Groove are going to be great again. No, like, they're good, but you still have to remember, there's still going to be competition in the format. And it's not like Altergeist doesn't special summon, right? Activate Multifaker, Chain Maxi, summon Multifaker, Multifaker effect to summon Siliquidos. Cool, your opponent just got 2 cards for free, right? Like, Guru, I guess, is like the only thing that doesn't special summon besides like one of them. So you're fine with that case, but let's be honest, Guru isn't doing anything impactful in the format right now. And then also, same thing with Zexal, right? Your opponent activates that card to summon 4, cool, draw Maxi, draw your free cards. They summon Zexal, cool, draw another card. Like, you're probably going to be drawing Impermanence, Chalice, or like something, droplets to counteract the Zexal. I don't think Zexal needs to get banned, honestly. Yes, it's not a fun card to play against, but there's a reason why you don't see it in tier 1 events, because, well, tier 1 or tier tournaments right now online, because everyone knows a way to counter it, or they can just play through that one turn of them having nothing on board. It's not impossible. Well guys, overall, that is my extended video on I think Maxx should be back. I think our format is too fast. I think we need to slow it down, even forcefully. This is a good time for Konami to experiment with the list. It gives us more variation in the meta. It forces tier 1 decks to slow it down a little bit, to see some other options, because again, if they're comboing off, they're at risk of Maxi. And if they're comboing off and they're playing a combo deck in a long tournament, guess what's going to happen? They're not going to win most of their games because your opponent's probably going to draw like Raigeki and three Dark Holes, and you're just like, what do I do with my life now? And obviously I want other things like Harpor and all those older cards back at 1, but that is a video I've discussed like 8 times already. I just want to talk about purely Maxi, and yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and let me know if you want Maxi 2-0 as it is, or 2-3. I don't think it should be 1 or 2, but that's just my opinion. Thank you guys for watching, and take care.